Hey, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I hope you're having an amazing day wherever in the world you are. Welcome to Pep Talk, the podcast where we give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help us, God. We take all these crazy, complex health and wellness and medical topics that are out there in the news and in social media. We break them down into small, digestible, understandable conversation points that you can take action on. Because the truth will set you free, and knowledge is power, but it's the application of that knowledge that's really true wisdom that'll change your life and change the lives of the people in your community. I'm Dr. Eric Naputi, a functional medicine practitioner now for over 20 years, and I'm going to help you on today's conversation go down a very slippery slope, this journey we're going to discuss that is a very supposedly controversial topic that is unfortunately extremely censored, which shouldn't be. It shouldn't be censored at all. And folks, I'm going to use the words and we're going to talk about this. Please remember, all of you on social media, I'm a physician. I'm a practicing doctor. Everything I'm going to share with you today is scientifically backed and researched, not just by global scientific peer-reviewed papers, but by NIH.gov studies. We're going to talk about ivermectin. We're going to talk about ivermectin and how ivermectin has been beneficial for people with flus and colds and illnesses and bugs and viral bacterial infections. And the latest research that is out there, that by the way is old research that's been brought into life about the benefits of these certain compounds when it comes to things like cancers. And by the way, autoimmune issues and much, much more. And yeah, folks, that's ivermectin. I want to talk to you about ivermectin, and I want you to understand that I think ivermectin is very good. I think it's very powerful. We've been using it in our practice now for over 20 years, but I want you to understand what ivermectin is, why you would use it, and then I want to give you some alternative solutions to ivermectin. So I just pulled this up, and I'm going to read it verbatim so that you understand a little bit about ivermectin. So let's go back into the archives. And I want you to understand that ivermectin was discovered in the 1970s by a group of microbiologists and doctors in Japan. And their research, they were researching natural products, and it led them to a certain type of bacteria that lives in the soil. So it's a soil-based bacteria. This soil-based bacteria, which produced a compound that was anti-parasitic. Let me stop right there. In the human body, there are good bugs and there are bad bugs. There are more bacteria in and on our body called the microbiome than there are cells in the human body. In fact, there are thousands of times more genes that come from our bacteria that positively or negatively impact our health more than even our human genetics impact our health. Does that make sense? The quality of your health is really directly proportionate to the health of your cells, which is determined by the health of the bacteria of your body. So I want you to understand that there are certain bacteria in the body that are beneficial for the immune system. There are certain bacteria in the body that help reduce inflammation. There are certain bacteria in the body that make certain foods turn into vitamins and nutrients and make certain enzymes. And there are certain bacteria in the body that signal your cells to be active, and certain bacteria in the body that signal your immune system to work like it's supposed to. And what ivermectin is a soil-based organism that was found in the soil in Japan around primarily Mount Fuji, in that region. Those researchers took that compound, they took that soil-based bacteria, and they extracted the extract from that bacteria that produced a compound that was anti-parasitic. The initial findings were based off of samples of soil collected by the team of doctors from a golf course in Japan. And they tapped into this soil-based organism and ultimately were able to take that organism into the pharmaceutical space. And it was primarily used to help treat and prevent things like river blindness and other parasitic problems that, by the way, don't just happen in other areas of the world. They happen in North America just as much as they happen anywhere. And there are research and studies that shows that if you have parasitic infections, which the current studies are showing that 80% of the global population has some type of parasitic infection in the body. And I'm going to tell you, if you have animals at home like I do, I can guarantee almost 100% certainty that you have parasites of some level in your body, which is fine. And there are things that can be done to mitigate that. And ivermectin is one of many solutions that are out there. But what I want you to understand is that after receiving the sample of the soil-based organism, the researchers who were working with Merck Pharmaceutical at the time began studying the compound ivermectin as a powerful anti-parasitic in animals and in humans. And the mechanism of work, let me talk about the mechanism of action. What it does is it enhances the flow of chloride ions in the body, and it leads to what's called hyperpolarization of cells. Our cells have a negative and positive charge. By the way, parasites have a negative charge. Our cells have a positive charge. So the more hyper positive the charge is in the body, guess what it does? It creates an environment that bacteria, funguses, parasites, and other disease microorganisms can't live in, and it kills them. It creates an environment that they can't thrive in, and it paralyzes parasites, and it disrupts the neurological and muscular function of those microbes, hence destroying the root cause of many of the problems by healing the gut. Folks, I've shown you the benefits of gut bacteria and healing in the gut. By the way, from soil to medicine, I want to say that again. From soil to medicine, that's where ivermectin started. It is as natural can be. By the way, there are other soil-based microorganisms and other microorganisms like bifidobacterium, lactobacillus, certain fungi, but they need to be spore-based microbes that you can take orally as a supplement even to restore the normal microbiome that works on the same level of ivermectin, has the similar mechanisms of action. By the way, you guys have heard me talk before about certain funguses and bacteria that are in certain regions of the world, like the blue zones. One of the blue zones happens to be in Japan. These are areas of the world where people live a longer, healthier, more productive life, and they have certain microorganisms in their body, hence ivermectin, and these microbes that come out of the soil are in the Japanese GI microbiome that are not in industrialized organizations, which is why we have higher risk of cancers, autoimmune diseases, and other issues, and increased risk for illnesses and succumbing to those illnesses because we don't have those microbes in our system like these regions of the world. This is so common sense. This is such a common sense conversation. That's why one of the formulas that I created years ago is called a master microbiotic formula. I took all those microbes, put them in a delivery system that ensures a 99% survivability so that the GI tract can get these microbes that are needed. And the microbes of ivermectin are in that group. So it's helped. Ivermectin has been, by the way, World Health Organization has listed it as an essential medication, which means it can never be taken off of the list. Now, it was politicized during the COVID pandemic because there was a multi-trillion-dollar transfer of wealth that happened during that time. Ladies and gentlemen, big pharma and big medicine systematically ostracized and propagandized the media to go after doctors and other healthcare practitioners that were trying to educate people on what you could do to improve your health. The conversation globally was never about how do we improve your health. It was about how do we get these new vaccines across the goal line. And by the way, just so you know, if there was any type of treatment that could treat, prevent, mitigate, reverse, or help with that disease, that pandemic during that time, the pharmaceutical companies were not allowed to fast track their vaccines. So this was a political move, not a science move. It was a political science move. By the way, ivermectin has been clinically proven to help with river blindness, lymphatic problems, scabies. I mean, the global impact of ivermectin is it saved millions of lives because it helped people get the soil-based bacteria in your body that's supposed to be there. We live symbiotically with these bacteria. Ivermectin's original came from the soil. It's a microbe. It's part of the microbiome that's supposed to be here inside of our body. And it's not because we stress too much. We eat the standard American diet. We have chemicals in our food supply that are illegal in other countries, and we're overstressed and over-medicated and we're undereducated. And that's why you're sick. And that's why you're fat as well. Obesity has a massive causation and correlation to obesity and microbiome imbalances. And if I just go right now and I Google ivermectin and cancer, thousands of research articles come up. Here it is right here. Google ivermectin and cancer. Study-based dosages calculation of what to take to help with cancer. Ivermectin and potential anti-cancer delivered therapeutics. National Cancer Institute.gov. Ivermectin and the treatment of breast cancer. Ivermectin inhibits tumor metastasis. Ivermectin anti-parasitic drug exhibits potential benefit for helping with cancers. Here's another big one. Look at this. This is NIH.gov. Outcomes of ivermectin. Listen to this. Outcome of ivermectin in cancer treatment has shown improvement in cancer therapeutics. Why do your doctors not know about this? It's outperforming chemo in most of these studies. But I'm not telling you that ivermectin cures cancer. I'm not telling you that ivermectin or soil-based organisms or bacteria or probiotics cure anything. Please listen to this. The word cure is owned by the pharmaceutical industry. Why? Because they use it from a marketing standpoint. They've got you to believe that the only way that you can cure a problem is through drugs. Name me one damn drug that cures anything. Well, chemotherapy, you may say, doesn't cure anything. It destroys the immune system enough that hopefully your body resets itself and it kills the cancer, and when it reboots, the cancer doesn't come back. But a successful chemotherapy treatment is to have a survivability of the patient for 3 more years and to put them in remission. Look, I'm not against modern medical treatments. I'm against common sense health. Ivermectin doesn't cure cancer, but what it does is it restores the normal function to the microbiome. The microbiome has responsibility of the immune system. Cancer is an immune system problem. Well, what about hormonal cancer? You say, okay, well, there's a hormonal component to breast cancer. If the bacteria is off in the gut, the body cannot produce the right hormones and it can't make the right nutrients to make your hormones. So you're going to have estrogen dominance, and then you're going to have an increased risk of breast cancer. What about autoimmune diseases? Lactobacillus and bifidobacterium are the bacteria that are supposed to be in the GI tract that help the body with the immune response. Folks, the cause is the cure. The cause of the problem is the lack of normal bacteria in the system. Dr. Sabine Hassin proved that in her study. She looked at 600,000 fecal samples of people that were infected with COVID and people that got really sick and really bad and ultimately, unfortunately, died. They didn't have the bifidobacterium. Well, guess what? The research is showing is that people who are getting certain types of diseases have a reduction in those healthy bacteria. So common sense tells us getting that bacteria back into our ecosystem is important. But then you're saying, well, how come when I take a probiotic, I still have these problems? Because your probiotic doesn't work. Because the vast majority of probiotics are dead bacteria that are going to cause an immune response in the body because the body doesn't know how to deal with that stuff. It's going to cause an inflammatory response. It's going to cause an increased symptomatology in your body. And number one, you're not taking the right formulas. You're not taking it for the right amount of time, and you're not living the right lifestyle. There is no magic in one pill. There is no magic cure in a drug, a potion, a lotion, or any type of Vita Vita regimen on the planet, including my own products. But the master microbiotic formula that we created has all of the soil-based organisms, and it has the bacteria, and it has the fungi that's in it that's supposed to be in those blue zones that are not in industrialized civilizations to this day. If you'll take the right bacteria and you'll live your lifestyle based off of your genetic need. So what does that mean? All of you, every man, woman, and child listening should have a genetic profile test done. Why? Because it tells you the roadmap for you, how to eat, how to sleep, how to supplement, how to handle stress, what medications are good or bad for you. So many things come from this. But the reality is that without knowledge, our people will perish. And without knowledge of our healthcare practitioners, how many of your doctors have ever talked to you about this? How many of you have ever heard this like this before? This is well known in the health and wellness space of those of us who actually care about you and are interested in health. I'm bringing health and care. We're bringing health and care back to healthcare globally by educating, inspiring, and motivating people. I mean, I can't tell you how many of these. Here's another NIH.gov study that shows multi-targeted drug ivermectin, anti-parasitic drug from 2018, has shown benefits for autoimmune issues and cancers. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Frontier magazine, ivermectin has new application inhibiting colorectal cancer. Here's another one, International Journal of Medicine. Ivermectin induces cell cycling and causes improvement in bladder cancer. I mean, the list, but it's not targeting cancer. It's targeting the root cause of the body that's out of balance that allowed the cancer to grow and develop in the first place. Folks, I could go on and on and on about this topic, but I need you to understand is that there is another way. There are ways, but you got to learn to live a healthy lifestyle. And some of you are in crisis phase right now. You have the disease, you have the disorder, you have the symptoms. We got to get you out of crisis phase first. Once your body's out of crisis phase, once we put the fire out, now we can get in the corrective phase. Then we can rebuild and repair the gut microbiome, which takes months to years to do. Then we can repair the cells, which takes months to years to do. Then we can repair the organs, which takes 18 to 24 months to do. Then we can be in what's called wellness phase, where we're being well and we're preventing illnesses, symptoms, sickness, and disease. Listen, nobody's going to live forever. At least I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. But all I know is Father Time is undefeated. Nobody gets out of this whole human experience alive, but you certainly can do it with a more beneficial, productive life. You can think better, live better, breathe better, and be better if you know the right things to do. And that's what I'm all about. And that's what Pep Talk's all about. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to go back and rewatch this and listen to this Pep Talk. I want you to take notes. I want you to share it with your friends and family. Don't just take my word for it. Go do your own research. Go Google ivermectin and cancer. You're going to be blown away by the data and research that's out there. And then you're going to be so frustrated when you go and talk to your doctors about it and they go, well, that's a bunch of quackery. Run, don't walk out of that doctor's office because they don't care about you and they certainly don't know what the hell health really is. So go to our website, peptalk.world. That's peptalk.world. Because folks, the truth will set you free. The truth will set you free, but you got to be willing to find the truth because in the world we live in right now, the truth is being suppressed because they want to keep us enslaved. They want to keep us a slave to the system that makes trillions and trillions of dollars for them at our suffering and demise. And I'm not okay with that. So folks, go back, rewatch this, share with your friends and family, share it on social media. It's so suppressed. The truth is so suppressed, but you and me and the world, we know what's real and we together can make a difference. So folks, until we meet again, I'm Dr. Eric Naputi. God bless you. God bless America and God bless the world. Stay smart out there and I'll see you soon. Be well.